um, we're going to be taking you through the basics of design. But in this particular video, it's going to be like a whole overview of what design, what will make you want to be a designer. We want you to be a designer, and that's why we're bringing this to you. Before we start by introducing myself, I would like you to click on subscribe button and turn on your notification for more videos on HNG. And my name is Iho Chukwemeka. I build products, and I'm a product designer. And before we are going to start this class by discussing what design is. So, what is design? Design is defined as in the dictionary as a plan, drawing, produced to show the look and function of workings of a project. But I can authoritatively tell you that design is everything, from the uh, noise that the car makes, how the funnels are being designed to bring out water at a particular level, how the water bottle in your hand is being designed, how this particular bottle, why is the mouth not as big as this particular size, how a key is being designed in the sense that it can be used to cut a nail, a key holder rather. So all these are design, and how we perceive design can make can broaden our understanding and appreciation about things around us. So the question is always why. In design, you should tend to answer the question why. So after this class, you should be able to have a rethink about your surroundings. The question is, why is the color of the sky blue? What does it have to do with our psychology? Why is the handle of a door the way it is designed? Why is the seat the way it is designed? Why is the table this high? Why is the table this low? Why is a plate of food, a plate that is used in serving food, why is it flat? Why is it deep? These are design questions. Why is actually a major impact, a major factor in design. In fact, when without design, everything fades away. There's chaos everywhere. Not everybody can be a designer. Not everyone should be a designer. In fact, design is a life and death profession. If you notice, you see that design goes beyond just sketching on a screen and building an app. You may say, how is it life and death? But when you now see that your design can make, let's say for example, you are designing a hospital app and there's no button to call for an emergency, or there's a button and the button can't be found, it is wrongly designed. So it can actually cause a human error. Sometimes you hear that something has happened, something has gone wrong, blaming the system without remembering to blame the designer. When you make wrong designs, lives can be lost. Like an example I gave in the emergency session. So when someone can't find an emergency button to click and get help, you see that the person may likely lose his or her life. So design is very important. Design is everything. Now, we are not going to focus on different all the whole kinds of design. We're going to streamline what we are going to be learning during the course of start.ng. And what we are going to be learning is different rules. We are going to be learning the basics, the fundamentals of design. Remember, I always say this, that design is more than tools. Design is more than tools in the sense that you can learn how to use any tool. There's Figma, there's Adobe XD, there's InVision, there's Principle, there's Sketch. There are a whole lot of design tools. But when you lack the basic design foundations, you see that you just know how to just replicate designs. You won't understand the whys behind the designs. Now, there are some job titles associated with UX design. Yes, some of you may be asking, why would I switch to design? Yes, design is a lucrative career. In fact, UX design is a more lucrative career than any other design field for now. Now, we have in UX design, we have some titles associated with it. We have a UX designer proper. we have a product designer, we have a visual designer, we have content strategists, and we have a UX unicorn. Now, I will not go very deep into explaining these stuffs that I just mentioned, the titles, but you should know that a UX designer is someone that deals with the five phases of the design thinking process. Yes, design thinking process, although I've not mentioned it, there's what you call a design thinking process that takes into basically five major steps, which is empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. Now, when you're talking about empathy, you can hear of empathy. Yes, empathize is knowing what your users want, feeling the pains of your users, being in their shoes. This problem that they are facing, why are they facing it? When you ask these questions, you see that you now start to get the answers to your whys little by little. Now, you can't just take a project and start building. You have to make sure that you know why you are building it for. Will it be used? Is it needed? Now, you also have the define. When you have now empathized with your users, you are trying to define the problem they are going to solve. Now, this is the point that the UX, remember, we are talking about the UX designer that deals with all kinds of all the whole five processes of design thinking. Now, when you define the problem, you know exactly the problem you are going to solve because there will be many problems, but you are going to pick the problem is not finding a problem. Yes, the problem is not finding a problem. The problem is knowing which problem to solve. Now, when you find the problem to solve, you now ideate on the problem. What you mean by ideating on the problem is bringing out ideas on how to solve that particular problem. It may be 20 ideas, it may be 3 ideas, it may be 2 ideas, it may be 4 ideas. Bring them out. Then you test, or you can look at them and see the one that will be easier to build, cost effective, and more functional. Easier to build, cost effective, and more functional. Now, when you choose this, you now start building your product, which is prototype side. We have types of prototype. We have the wireframing, which is the low fidelity prototyping. We have the higher designs like the graphic that you see, the UI that you have, the user interface that you have, those things, the colors. That's where in the prototype that you build it. Now, after building, you test. Now, each of these phases are not standalone. They intertwine with each other. You may ideate and test. You may prototype and test. And after testing, you go back to either defining your problem or empathizing with your users again to find out whether really what you've built is really for them. Then a UX designer does all these roles. But now you normally hear of product designer. Product designer is someone that does all this and adds a product roadmap. Now, a product roadmap is everything that has to do with the product. It now is after testing, after everything, you also have to make sure that your design is satisfactory with everybody, every stakeholder that is in the product, the high management, and also every other person that is involved, the clients, the government officials, every other person that may be involved in the product. Now, he also draws out a roadmap for the project, the deliverables, and how to get those deliverables done by the UX designer. Now, also, we have a visual designer. The visual designer only gets his own mind on the prototype section because the prototype section is where the visual designer makes much input. Is more of a UI designer. Visual designer is more of a UI designer. The what you see, the colors, the typography, the buttons, sizes, and thereabouts. That's what the visual designer does. Now, the UX researcher is between the points of emphasizing with the users, defining the problem, and the point of test, because when you test, you redefine. You can redefine your problem, or you can empathize. Anything that does with moving out to meet people is done with for by the UX researcher. Now we have content strategies. Content strategies are those who bring out contents, the write-ups. They can also be called the UX writers. The write-ups, the particular terms and words that you can use to convey particular tone, particular voice of a brand. Those are the content strategies. Then you have the UX unicorns. Now, the UX unicorns are those who are all encompassing. They can do all the works of the UX designer, the product designer, every other person in the design phase, and also they can do front end development. Now, this particular unicorn is rare. Many people claim it, but it's actually rare because it spans across so many fields and it takes years of experience to actually be a UX unicorn. Now, fundamental of design doesn't change, it remains the same in as much as you don't follow only trend. When you learn the fundamentals of design, no matter how design have evolved over the years, the fundamentals still remains the same. Now, the fundamental of a cup, design of a cup, is that it should be able to carry water. Now, it may change the shape, its its form over the years. The materials may change, but that fundamental design that it must be able to carry water or carry any other liquid that is poured into it, it will never change. So being a great designer, you have to learn the fundamentals of design because those are timeless. Learning the trends in design are very nice, but they can't really help you when you get stuck in your thinking process. Now, there are popular methodologies in designing. We have the design thinking, which we've talked deeply about. Then we have the one we call the agile design. Agile design is actually a continuous process. When you iterate frequently, take feedback frequently from your users and change things. It's not like the normal one that we have, the waterfall. You can check up on this, the waterfall. I'll drop some links in the description below. The waterfall and the agile the design, you see the differences. Agile design, you ship a product, you design, no testing till the end of the design. After designing, it's built and it's tested. But agile design, each feature is being tested as it's being designed and brought out. Now, there are most of these methods are used together. Now, we are going to be learning how to design, and also we're going to use Figma to learn how to design. So we're going to be doing, throughout the course of this study, we're going to study typography, we're going to study color theory, we're going to study information architecture, we're going to study wireframing, we're going to study visual designs and interaction designs. Now, all these designs that we're going to study, all these basics and fundamentals that we're going to study are what we are going to put together to make us to be a formidable designer. Now, we may not go from in this short period, you may not go from being being a novice to being a professional, but at least we will know the fundamentals of design. That anywhere that we see what we need, we can push forward to become a better designer. And with more or with less stress, we can get more. So thank you very much for your attention. I beg of you to subscribe and more videos will come your way. Thank you very much.